Hey guys, Shira here, back with a new video today, and today's video is going to be kind of brief comparatively as far as brief goes for me, and essentially we're going to be covering the new challenges, the rotating challenges on the JP side, and essentially when you clear these challenges you get new type of pots that further increase your stat cap on your units, so you're able to add even more pots to them afterwards. And it's a really cool system they've added, and essentially these challenges will change every 4 days on a cycle, and every 4 days you'll get a new type of stat to break. And the only reason why I bring this up is because these challenges aren't relatively hard, but a friend of mine who just started on the JP side was very much confused on why everything he was doing to the boss was resisted. And if you're a newer player, I understand this totally. You're kind of probably lost, especially when you're coming in to the 3rd anniversary. You go to the new event page and this is all you see here. It's going to be very, very confusing and overwhelming at times. But essentially, the entire thing with this boss is he's resistant by 500% to all elements and non-elemental attacks by 500%. And the only thing that can damage him is thunder damage. So you have to use a thunder elemental weapon, thunder abilities, or thunder spells. Don't even try to do it in peril for the other elements, because it's 500%. There is no 500% in peril. And just before we go into the boss here ever so quickly, we'll take a look at the stat units you can fuse in. So they look like they're holding tombstones for these first portions. There we go. Oh, it's not a tombstone. I'm an idiot. They're just going through a door. Sorry if you can hear my dog right now. So if you try to fuse them, you can see that my stat cap will go higher here. And it doesn't mean it gets increased right away. That just means you can fuse more pots onto them afterwards. So really cool there. And let's get into the fight here. So as far as team comps go, I do suggest that you use a magic type dealer, just because his stats can be braked except for defense. So you're very much advantageous if you're using magic type damage. So CG Sakura I'm going to be using here. Honestly, if you're a newer player, you're probably going to have something as equal or better on your friends list than my CG Sakura. Very lackluster in equipment here. I didn't really focus on magic type dealers, and especially not CG Sakura. If you have a unit that can use Thundaja, I was testing this with my 7-star Lulu earlier with Thundaja. Perfectly normal or perfectly fine to use that. And again, any elemental weapons with thunder on them, you can use them for your chaining physical damage dealers. It's just going to take a little longer. And make sure you have some sort of elemental buffer for winds, debuffer that can break attack and magic, and any type of healer will work here. And as far as your tank goes, if you've done the easier portions of this challenge, it may seem like magic tank is the way to go. But honestly, because of those easier portions, you've only ever done one turn, because you're basically one-shotting the boss every single time. And at the final challenge, if you don't have enough damage, it will last longer, and that second turn will kind of catch you off guard like it did for me, because his second turn he rotates to a new move that looks like Tornado, but it's not Tornado. It's actually a physical type move he's going to use on everybody, and it hits quite hard if you aren't properly geared for it, and especially if you're a newer player, it might potentially one-shot your entire team. So I highly suggest a physical tank. The magic damage he does, as long as you have that wind resist buff on your team, it's basically a little tickle to you. So let's get right into it. So turn 1, just get your buffs up. With Konshira, I'm just going to get my stat buffs and my elemental buffs, and I'm just going to break magic here first turn. And with Sakura, we're just going to use her cooldown skill, and Gabranth is going to be my AoE physical tank. So here's going to be the AoE magic damage. Does nothing, right? As long as you have that wind resist buff, it does nothing. And with Konshira, next turn afterwards, we're just going to put more damage reduction. I'll showcase how much damage. I can't really, since I already put up my cover from Gabranth. So second turn, we'll debuff his attack, and we'll start setting up with CG Sakura. And I'm going to provoke with Gabranth, because he does do some single target magic attacks afterwards as well. So this right here looks like a magic attack. but it's actually a physical move. And if you're using mages, it can be quite deadly since they don't have the highest defense out there. And from there on, it's just an easy kill, right? If you're using a lesser powered mage or chainers, it will take a little longer, but from here on, it's just a given. It's not the biggest thing to make a video on, but just in case you just recently started, it's info you kind of want to have on, just because you want those stat breaking pots. But yeah, that's the video here, guys. I'm just gonna leave it at that, and have a good one. Peace.